I found out my wife was cheating with my friend after she secretly went out despite my warning. She admitted to multiple affairs. I'm 30 male and my wife is 25 female. We've been married 3 years and together roughly 6. Never had kids. No assets whatsoever. Debt exceeds checking account balance. I earn about $4,000 a month and we rent a house. She earns roughly $1,500. I work hard to give my daughter the life she deserves, and now I face the unthinkable. My workplace family is close. A almost 3-year coworker urged me to join a recreational soccer league, which I've played in for 2 years. I thought my wife supporting me by attending every soccer game was nice. I suspected she went for the alcohol though. I drank lightly most game nights. While watching the games, she'd get loose and ride home with me. After the games, some males and girls would linger out at different venues late at night. We occasionally returned to my house or went to a pub, pizza joint, etc. A couple of weeks ago, a group of them were going to a guy's house a city away from me. After the game, I apologized and said we wouldn't go. I worked early the next morning. On the way home, she texted a friend to drive her there. She asked if she could go while I drove home. No, I said. Work in the morning, but I want to be with you tonight. She silently punished me with anger and alcohol. As I entered the driveway, a car pulled up in front of the house. It was my pal. Her executive choice to attend this party enraged me. I told my friend to exit from his automobile. My wife left my car and entered his. Driving away. The dead iPad I got her years before was plugged in my wrath. Though old, I knew it was linked to her messaging/social media accounts. I noticed where she was and tried to stand. That night, I fell asleep at 3 a.m. She was still away. Morning came, and she was in our bed. I had no idea when she returned. I woke up, got ready for work, and went without waking her or kissing her goodbye for the first and last time. I wanted her to know I was mad. I put the iPad in my briefcase before work. I worked that day. After a meeting and a few conversations, I pulled out the iPad and saw a message app notification. Buddy is typing. An awful exchange of self-destructing messages appeared in the app. I saw their communication in real time, thus this app must have been obsolete. The night prior, they recanted. Buddy was talking about them making love and other guys having fun last night. Very nearly lost it. After that, things became worse. I watched my wife tell Buddy to send her a video of him enjoying himself. He obliged, and I unfortunately witnessed it. I raced from my office to the restroom and vomited profusely. Was shaking after seeing what? I was excused from work today. After several hours to relax, I was scared I would damage someone or myself. She was still asleep on the bed when I got home. I set my stuff down and invited her downstairs. I sat across from her and asked her to describe yesterday night in full. She did, without sexual situations. Drinking, pool, and conversing. The end. I asked her when she last spoke to Buddy. She stated she messaged him that morning, but nothing in particular. I dropped the bomb. Would your story change if you knew I watched your entire morning conversation with him? Her tears fell. Her first words were, "You leaving me?" She confessed. Though she couldn't remember, she said she had sex with Buddy and another teammate last night. And that was all she remembered. Perhaps there were more guys involved, but she wasn't sure. I hated it. Was this her first time? She surprised me by saying there had been others. One was in my house while I slept upstairs. The end. Everything was numb to me. We packed her bag and she went to visit family. She begged me not to tell. My horrible story was mine alone. 2 weeks till D-Day, I have no idea what to do. I hope I don't have the worst D-Day experience, but it's hard to imagine anything worse than catching your wife in a gangbang with males you've accepted into your lives and discovering they've been together for months. She now attributes everything to drink. She vows to start AA. Encourages couples therapy. She wants a united outcome, perhaps too late. But I'm a chump and experience all the post-infidelity emotions, including guilt. Not sure why. I have a lawyer appointment tomorrow. I hope my decision is right. However devastated she is from being an alcoholic, no matter her sincere desire to resolve this, I imagine her as douche sandwich lunch meat whenever we converse. Can't trust her. Her persistent deeds offend me. I deserve much better. Why do I feel bad when I'm not perfect? No reconciliation, right? I am not the villain, am I? Any advice or help is much appreciated. Writing this and seeing it so clearly makes me feel stupid. However, it's difficult to quit caring about the person who shocked you. Please be patient with me. Update 1. Your advice, concern, and positivity are much appreciated. I've had several kind individuals ask how I'm doing since I posted about my experience almost a month ago. Unfortunately, this scenario has escalated from awful to egregious. My words don't do it justice. I apologize for the long update post, but it's the only way to show how devastated I am. I followed your suggestion and scheduled many attorney and legal document preparation sessions days following the initial post to keep my options open. FYI, my wife was unaware of the meetings. A few days passed without interaction after the post. But she insisted that this time she would try to get us in to see a marriage therapist, something I had been pressing on for months before my D-Day, to see if we could work through this. My heart knew what I would choose. She got us on a therapist's schedule, but it would take a week and a half. I stalked her every move on that filthy iPad. I was fixated. Watching every communication pass. I checked Facebook, Snapchat, and everything else. I had no further evidence after a week and a half of monitoring her online activity. I hoped she was expressing genuine regret. When we saw the therapist, he sat us down and asked why. I instructed her to recount the tale in her own terms. She left certain information out, but much was on the table. After listening, the therapist asked, "How does that affect your trust in her? You feel how about your marriage?" Shaking my head in surprise and shock. Instead of answering, I said, "I fear I will never say it out loud if I don't now. I can't recover. This marriage is over. Broken vows. My faith is broken. I believe the only option is to divorce." My stomach sank, and she cried hysterically. I added, "I don't know what can be salvaged from this relationship, but the marriage is over. I meant what I said on the altar, and I'm not being true to myself if I don't recognize this as being broken, unfixable." That gave me a little relief. Declaring my resignation to her in a neutral party. He calmed her and explained why my sentiments and decision were rational given the situation throughout the rest of the therapist visit. This could not have gone better, in my opinion. He wanted to see us individually first to see whether he could help us. We may meet to discuss reconciliation years from now. Let me tell you now so you don't wonder, I don't even want to discuss reconciliation anymore. However, individual therapy may help me in the meanwhile. Before continuing, I knew I was about to embark on a legal road that, if not amiable, might be disgustingly unpleasant and financially catastrophic for me, the earner in a no-fault state. I wrote out this legal process, but I won't post it until it's finalized. No longer safe to share online. My main point is, I must be polite now. Fast forward about a week and a half. Both of us have had individual treatment. She told her family that we're leaving the marriage due of broken vows, but we're both healing. I've kept scanning her social media for signs that she's continuing her filthy practices while she's around family. Many of you said she would. Not your fault, I would have searched anyhow. Last Thursday night, I discovered I hadn't checked a place. Ever. The App Store. I checked her iCloud app download history and found that she had downloaded a hidden texting app approximately 2 weeks earlier to that evening. My stomach ached. In one terrible swoop, I knew she had tried to hide communication from me the whole time. All while knowing I had her iPad, which she requested I maintain to regain my trust. I still think she didn't aware that any iCloud-connected device can access an app's download history. I needed to understand app communications. Thinking about those moments, I lost control of my body. I put the app on her iPad. Tried some of her most common logins. Voila, the truth. After our first therapy meeting, she not only messaged Buddy on this app, nevertheless they kept having sex when she knew I'd be away. Throwing up. I wept. Weeknight 3 a.m. I grabbed every prescription-strength drug in the bathroom. I returned to my room with a full fistful of drugs that would have killed me. Sitting on my bed, I cried, ready to end it. I tried calling my mom on my phone. No reply. My dad. No reply. My sister. She replied. I told her what I found through violent tears, and she could tell I was losing it. Even in the middle of the night, she kept me on the phone until I calmed down, even though she didn't know I had the tablets. About 1 hour. But I felt numb again. I returned to the restroom and refilled a container with tablets after hanging up the phone, washing hands. Go back to bed to catch a few hours of sleep. We never got that. After several hours, I realized I needed to work. I couldn't stand that house or that time. I put the iPad and pill bottle in my briefcase as I got dressed. I immediately gave my most trusted coworker both upon arriving at my office. I urged him to keep them in his desk and never give them back. No queries. As I left, he patted my shoulder in understanding. So I did it. I got my wish. What I sought. Undisputed proof that my wife cheats and lies. I spent days deciding what to do with my newfound knowledge. I desperately wanted to call her out to every family member, friend, and acquaintance, declare her true self to the world. What she did? And still did. But I couldn't. I had started divorce proceedings. There's still time for her to get nasty and expensive. As days passed and additional texts, calls, and attempts to contact me remained unanswered, she eventually made an effort to visit me. About lost my crap during the encounter. I deliberately remained ambiguous and indifferent to her. I was unsure what to do. I gave her a chance and asked her directly when she lost her temper and started ranting at me for acting weird. Have you spoken to Buddy since that night? Her reply: No, I blocked him everywhere. I asked again. Are you sure? She insisted she hadn't. He was filthy. That she would never hurt me. That she could never hurt me. I dropped the bomb. What about this app? What about my phone footage of that app showing your two talks all along? You sent each other pictures? Based on my daily itinerary, your plans to slip around? She fell to the ground, crying and pleading for what? My tone was neutral. I won't tell anyone about this. You won't argue with me about divorce matters in exchange. Despite not having to, I'll be fair. The divorce papers will be served to you. Do nothing with them. Otherwise, people will have to know why I'm being so unreasonable. Your pick. She departed. 2 days later, she was served. I haven't told anyone outside my immediate family since that day. However, Find My iPhone proves she has visited him every night since then. At home with his mother. Her family thinks she attends AA every night. But my screenshots of her location during those meetings reveal otherwise. Why hasn't she changed her iCloud password? Why I keep gathering proof is beyond me, but I do. Waiting for this legal period is worrying me. One where she could challenge me in court, while fully aware, her family believes she's doing well. So far from the truth. In fact, she lies to all of them. Unfairness pains me most right now. She can pretend everything is fine around her family. Each night, she flees for sex with him. Then sneaks home at night to maintain appearances. I work every day. An empty, haunted house awaits you. Experience true solitude in every way. I no longer consider self-harm. However, these are dark days. I take things hourly. Day by day. Until I know I survive this torture. My finances intact, leaving her behind. As for my next steps, I'm unsure. I'm just surviving until then. Thanks for reading, caring, giving guidance, knowledge and courage. You were my only vent when I felt absolutely isolated. I may know nothing about you. I trust you more than my wife. Undoubtedly. Thank you. Second update. This is my third and hopefully last post. I survived my darkest days because to the great support and counsel I received here. I hesitated to comment because my divorce is finally final. No more hiding. After the unreasonably long 6-month and 1-day cooling off period to see whether my ex-wife might lawyer up without me knowing, it's done. After going entirely silent, I feel like I can finally move forward in my life. As ridiculous and ugly as my 2 initial posts after D-Day were, many people followed them, and I should have realized the rest of the cooling off period would be just as terrible. I wanted to update you on what's happened since my last post. My last post was 6 weeks after D-Day. I didn't indicate in that post that I had filed my divorce papers with the county. Many wonderful Redditors advised me to give her the iPad and cut any ties to gadgets, shared logins, and accounts that would allow me to obsess over what, where, who she was doing. I knew enough. Out was my goal. My approach to divorce may have caused emotional harm in the long term. It had less long-term influence on my wallet. Despite its painful slowness, it all made sense in real time. After accepting that I could never trust her again, I needed to get rid of her. I wasn't going to give her $2,000 in spousal support month to month for half the marriage. We had no kids together. But my state allows no-fault divorce, and I was the breadwinner. No way. No way. I'm not compensating her for her harm. I got mad. Thought about it, and planned to leave this marriage and her quickly and completely. Looking back, I regret my divorce negotiating techniques. It worked out. Though I think my morality may have suffered. A matter of opinion. From my perspective on fault and accountability, she caused me mistrust, grief, and anguish that dwarfed my acts. I submitted the divorce paperwork to the county around my last post, but I was still waiting for their confirmation. I hid this from my wife, who lived with her family. She was never allowed back in my home after I made her leave. I scheduled several meetings for us to chat. I wanted to convince her I still wanted to save the relationship. Complete falsehood. But in all our conversations, I made it clear that I thought our marriage was finished. Breach of vows. If we wanted to start over, we must start over. This marriage must terminate mutually. We can then court each other again and build a better relationship. This is making me gag typing it. I can't believe she bought it. I would make it as easy and pleasant as possible for her, accelerate the process, and keep it out of the public eye, just to get through this phase so we could focus on the next together. My service of her was an example. A mutual acquaintance played third wheel in a handoff, signature exchange, and chat at my place, where we lived together. She signed necessary documents. She sealed her paperwork in their envelopes without scanning them. I doubt she ever delved into the legal procedures, as I portrayed a perfect scenario without spousal support. The biggest issue I wanted to avoid was giving her spousal support, beyond dividing what was in our account. I played the need time on my own to think card for the first several months. Hard to avoid seeing her, although we met twice a month for dinner or public events. I made small talk and pretended to care. She could never say I tried to hurt her because our meetings were always public. Maintaining appearances. I manipulated her. I made her think I was really processing what occurred and trying to forgive so we could reconcile. I had no intention of doing so. I cleaned by keeping her led on. Remove her from my financial accounts, with her help kick her out of the lease, even got all her stuff moved out of our house into storage. After all that, I told her we'd move and that taking her stuff removed would make the existing home less haunting for me while I healed. Lying to her and keeping her submissive and cooperative made the separation tasks go well. She thought her actions were good for us. This technique helped me get through 4 of the 6 months needed to see the light. In early month 4, a family member she was staying with texted me asking if we were still working things out. This family member knew about Buddy and the truth, yet I replied to maintain my reconciliation charade. Yes. Why? I got a picture. My wife and Buddy were eating out in a different city. The next text read, "This is happening now." Apparently, one family member saw coworkers having drinks after work. I blew it by letting my emotions take over. I immediately texted my wife to call her. She lied and said she was in an AA meeting and could contact me after she was done. Then I retaliated. I didn't realize restaurant held AA meetings. Buddy was now your sponsor? That caught her eye. She called me immediately and yelled at me for pursuing her. My response used foul language the mods will not allow on this sub. Basically telling her off, calling her names, and that I never wanted to talk to her again. Thus, she dated Buddy in the final 2 months of the divorce. This was first private but later public. I blocked both on all social media. Information came from our friends. Questions arose. More folks contacted me to ask what was going on. My wife was posting more status updates and photos of them together. Upon request, I would provide as much information as requested. Friendships and ties I valued and wanted to save, I needed their support. Just telling them the truth worked. But having support and hearing others who knew us both say what she did to me was horrific. To hear that approval felt more essential than divorce's material division. Finally, I had folks to vent to. Boy, did I vent? Nearly everyone I spoke to explain what happened had contacted her first. In some way, to identify this guy she posted so many photos of? All those follow-up calls to me had one thing in common. She greatly downplayed the occurrences. I believe she admitted to cheating. I was required to explain the things she omitted. Each of our acquaintances and most of her closest relatives were shocked. I feel they chose to support me and still do. I even asked them not to argue until the divorce was final. Pictures became bolder as they spent more time together. As their relationship became increasingly public, my phone rang more. So I had to beg folks to quit telling me about their developments. Because it still hurt me emotionally. Valentine's Day fell days before the divorce. Along with the Day of Love, came 3 screenshots. From 3 people identical social media posts, 2 pigs embraced with a romantic message and photo. About how incredible God is to provide her such a great boyfriend, she couldn't be happy. That she literally hopes to marry him. When a door closes, God opens a window. That bewildered response from extended family and her distant pals inquiring who that was funny. Even some surprised emojis. I don't mind them together. But it does. Loss still haunts me. I'm disgusted and regretful at how silly, nasty, and cold-hearted this woman is. That I didn't see this beast for so long sickens me. Buddy is a vile person. I have no respect or energy to comment or worry about him. Karma will punish him for staying with her. My ex-wife, whom I barely know. This makes it easier for me moving ahead. The day eventually came last week, our divorce date set by the court. I wasn't served any paperwork, so she couldn't fight me for anything not in the initial agreements. The ones we wrote when we pretended to try again. I kept my whole 401k. No spouse support. I owe nothing more. No attorneys. No court. No more dealing with them. Later that day, I blocked her number from my phone. Next day, 7 of my best friends, 6 of them were mutual friends, gave me a divorce party. The Snapchatters posted it all night. Documenting the party was worthwhile. That got my ex-wife to block them all on social media. Some received abusive SMS. Her maid of honor attended my divorce celebration and never wants to see her again. P.S. My final internal struggle. Someone may have insight. In the darkest days of my addiction, when I searched her digital footprints, I discovered she had been sleeping with a hometown man during this time. However, this guy is an old flame of hers. His wife and child live with him. I struggle to decide if I should tell his wife. Shame on me for not saying anything yet. However, the guilt of ruining a family is beyond my explanation. How do I tell her? Identify myself? Or keep it to myself? This is a nagging thought. Relentless, making me nauseated, frightened, and sometimes having dreams. Any advice is welcome. Considering all. Update 3. Hello again, everyone. Second anniversary of my D-Day in 17 days. Actually, when I read my past writings, in all honesty, I never imagined getting this far. In terms of time, with the relief of my anxiety, melancholy, and burden because my ex-wife did terrible things. Many of you compassionate people have asked for an update. I can only advise. Ask carefully. This should be my last update on the divorce. For those joining the conversation now, this light reading will get you up to speed. Whether you like being shocked, disgusted, or left saying unbelievable, read the post below before proceeding. Obviously, my previous update was a long ago. However, some significant events occurred that demonstrate human depravity. The divorce was finalized in February 2019. I attempted to avoid touch. It's harder to do today. I didn't talk to her, yet occasionally I would see a post from a distant relative I hadn't blocked. Or a pal accidentally mentioned anything on a common acquaintance's Snapchat, such as that. All my true pals sought to keep these updates private. But some news was too huge to hide. May 2019 saw the first blockbuster. One of my greatest pals called to tell me that my ex-wife was remarrying a Tennessee man. Wait. What? Indeed, it was. My friend's husband hadn't blocked my ex-wife on Facebook. I took screenshots of the events leading up to the big news. All this happened between March and July 2019. But he seemed to leave her soon after the divorce. I don't know what happened or how. Sort of wish I did. Not surprising, at least. Starting April, Facebook status updates mentioned everything happening for a reason. And subversive signs she was falling in love. I feel sorry for someone. Suddenly in July, a simple photo and caption were on her wall. The image. We never heard of her or this odd guy. In courthouse, hands together, rings on fingers displaying a marriage certificate, geotagged in California. She proudly adopted her new surname, with a caption like, "I'm excited to spend my life with this great man. Feeling blessed. Tennessee, here we come." Astonished pause. This entire journey, from my first post until today, may appear implausible. I can only prove this. I'm recording God's truth. The next few sentences may lose some readers. If you've read this far, I hope you trust me. I wanted to warn you beforehand. I could not handle the situation's tremendous curiosity. To find out more, I contacted one of my ex-wife's cousin-in-laws, whom I liked. He agreed. Her new husband was someone she met online and talked to for months by phone, text, etc. They apparently fell hard and fast for each other. He called and proposed, and she said yes, they couldn't wait. Within a week of the proposal and her hasty attempt to notify her family and invite them to the wedding, which took place in a random location 2 hours from our hometown for reasons I don't understand, he flew to California for the Saturday wedding. That day was their first face-to-face meeting. Now husband and wife. The cousin says the kicker is that no family member attended her courtroom wedding. Whether due to lack of time to plan or disrespect to attend, marriage was unceremonious. Something that would have drove her crazy. That Sunday, she packed her belongings into a moving truck. They headed east for Tennessee on Monday. I was stunned. After hearing it from enough individuals, I believe the tale and time frame are true. That seemed unthinkable at the moment. That poor man. If only he knew. He would know if he would have known not to marry in California. A no-fault state where he may face my issue with her. Hopefully, he was unaware. Opposed to stupidity. In the meantime, I tried to forget them both. I took comfort in knowing they were relocating far away, where she would never randomly appear again. Summer 2019 ended, another bombshell in mid-fall. While browsing Instagram, a video showed my ex-wife carrying a dish in front of her father appeared. He covered his eyes with palms. Before I realized what I was seeing, I observed one blue frosted cookie on the dish. The video showed my ex-wife counting down. 3, 1, a boy. Her father opened his eyes. A crazy gender reveal video. Why is this visible? Her mother recently opened a public Instagram account and posted this video of her husband's enthusiasm. Instagram's algorithm suggested this video from someone I may know. Completely lost it. That was a terrible few days and nights. I felt disdain, agony, frustration, and a little envy. I want to be a dad. If these events had not occurred on our prior timeline, we may have had a child then. My child could have been it. I could have fathered. My age is 32. I assumed I'd be one by now. Not even on a path to a relationship or child. As a grown man, I know I have time to attain that dream with someone I love and enjoy. I keep comparing my life to what I thought it would be by now. I can only tell that in this situation, I prefer my position to the soon-to-be fathers. I expect the baby to be born immediately. I've been lucky and among friends to not hear either way. I know not knowing is best. Against the alternative. But occasionally I wonder. Good news. When I think about it, more days are passing for her and her dumpster fire life. Do not cross my mind. I consider that development. Some days are bad, whereby stay-at-home orders progressively worsen, giving days of despair. I'm lucky to be an independent contractor. Work on my computer at home. But some days are lonely. I do my best to walk, I miss the gym. I visit my parents as much as possible, only to have a company without a webinar or phone call. I know this is a common problem. Affects all our lives. Someone else is going through it. Sometimes I feel hopeless. My early days after D-Day come to mind. I feared I'd never survive. But I have. I will survive this terrible moment too. One day, one moment at a time, if necessary. Time advances despite its apparent slowness. I appreciate your time reading my update. Catch up on events. Finally, my deepest thanks to my commenters and messengers, and supported me throughout this life event. Without a doubt that collective strength saved me, encouraged me, and offered me another chance at happiness, after escaping misery. Thank you. To 2 more years of survival and success. Update 4, it has been 3 years since D-Day. And over a year since my last post. The first was last year. Where I can finally focus on myself. My ex-wife's situation is unknown. Since her entire family has stopped communicating with me. I've even muted and blocked mutual pals who may have shared undesirable information. From past experience, keeping anything related to her or her family off my feed would offer me the best chance to focus on my future without getting lost in the past. Truly, being without her family was hard. Because they were my family till she did what she did. Some I loved like blood kin. Accepting the loss of such relationships was difficult and unfair. Ultimately required. I know this method is profitable, because more days go by without thinking about her. Versus when I, despite thinking about her now, more like thank God I dodged that crap storm. Rather than sadness or pain. During the pandemic last year, my career changed drastically. I founded my own tech support IT system design consulting firm. A faith leap, but it paid off immediately. I got several contracts fast, including 2 government agencies in my county. Much work has been done, both contracts have been extended for 12 months. Not slowing down. Self-employed, having the flexibility to make such a decision with only myself relying on my success, has energized. The work I do for clients is my pride. Feeling self-worth has changed everything. I view the past differently and don't worry about the future. My job is steady. My finances are better than ever. Past recollections are mostly gone from my mind. My body is healthier than it has been since this started. I like myself as a man. The one issue I have due to my usual distrust of individuals romantically, especially women. I left my job easily since I distrusted others. Entering into business for myself seemed obvious. I can perform the work alone, and I always do. Romantically, the desire to be with someone has diminished. No problem being alone. And in my limited online dating experience, I discovered that mostly, it's a dump of broken people. I concluded this after 3 to 4 dates. Incredibly disappointing experiences with women who didn't want anything substantial, as their profiles suggest. Instead, they were neglected ladies who wanted every man's full attention. No one of my dates a year ago seemed believable, were simply talking to me. I felt like I condoned their fielding. No more of that for one lifetime. Not to be disrespectful to women, or that I took a pill, or went my own way. I crave that intimacy and connection. Want someone to share my life. Just because I feel that way doesn't mean I'll let anyone in. Just to avoid solitude. Willing to wait. Get my task done. Continue guiding my life toward success. Keep my eyes, ears, and heart open to the notion sometime I can love again. I have obnoxious self-talk. I think of that more than I should. Reminding me I'm 34 and that I should have a wife and children by now. That I should be joyful like my buddies. Who seem to be paying mortgages, traveling, loving their kids, and enjoying their best lives. I have what? Banked money. Do you feel better about life? Clearly, I need to improve this. But I know that rigidly following a mental chronology does not meet my needs. For now, I'm thankful for my life. I am incredibly lucky. Not living a different life, with my ex-wife attached. And I hope, if I keep prioritizing myself, maximizing my days, no matter what happens, I'll look back and feel proud of myself, and that I capitalized on a terrible hand. Many thanks for your time, guidance, support, and wisdom. I couldn't survive without you.